It only has...
Okay, you went offline. Now you're bringing it back up.
All right, I think it's good. I think we're on. All right, yeah, no, we had a problem where Twitch...
We'll see.
Yeah, it said I was loading the video. Is it loaded yet?
No, not yet. You're not in there. There we go.
There we go. All right, Twitch was saying that it was currently in use. It hadn't recognized the disconnect yet, so I apologize. We missed a little bit here. Purple team defended brilliantly under this turret, and really. And
now they're making a counter push, but blue team did get some really good engagements and led to a lot of kills. As you see, they're up 4 kills now, and 3,000 gold. So, but purple team is pushing really hard here. And the ult goes down on top of Rise, and Hecarim just taking so much damage at this point. Oh, and a nice ult from Galio. Great ult. It looks like they will pick up this team fight because of that ult.
Yeah, it was really important. I noticed, though, that Digital Heretics was focusing down Taric pretty hard in that fight, which is really kind of confusing choice.
Especially when the 80 carry was essentially destroying Hecarim.
Right, and I mean anybody. They could have focused down Nautilus, and that would have been a better choice than Taric, because Taric's ultimate was down, so he really wasn't providing all that much to his team.
And I missed Fizz ult.
And this is going to be the first inhibitor, so remember that statistic: an 80% chance for the first inhibitor to win. But they're going to contest it, and Fizz gets Playful Trickster in. The Hecarim ult misses. Fizz is going to die instantly to Rise and Caitlyn.
And Hecarim's going to focus down the inhibitor here. He is going to get it. He will die, though, because of it. But he ends up giving Caitlyn the kill here.
I'm not too sure about that. You see that a lot when a person's really low and they go in because they're being greedy. I think that was just a greedy moment. He wanted to get the kill, and it just didn't work out in his favor. I like this. As the Arab Legion is going mid, Rise is looped around to push bot lane. I don't think they should stay here, but I like the push.
We have Jetathor saying, never underestimate the power of the throw. I agree with that. And it's still rooting for an Ashe solo win. If they keep letting Ashe do the damage that they've been allowing her to do, it will be a throw. And Kayle cleans up here, and Kale's another big factor in this game. 7-3 at this point. Fizz is 7-3. They have a lot of damage coming out from these 3 sources.
Yeah, I mean, Caitlyn, they should have just, like I said, I liked that they pushed it, but I don't think they should have stayed there. I mean, Caitlyn did a massive amount of damage to Kayle, but Kayle has a heal, Taric has a heal, and Kayle never dies.
According to Incendiary Spade, Kyle just murdered people. Kyle did murder people. We see Kyle doing a lot of that recently. It just looks like Hecarim is out of position. Every time has to use his ult to get away. And that's just, once again, he's not going to have that engage now. And Blue can try to bait or force a Baron here.
You know, he's got a Spirit Visage now. He's starting to get a little tanky. But I'd really like to see something a little more finite, like a Randuin's Omen or anything, like just to make him that tanky. That way he can dive in.
Just destroying the Galio right here. It looks like Hecarim will be going in here and trying to steal, so...
He did steal before.
And
there's a steal again. He stole it in the first game. He stole it in this game. That is humongous. They need to back and stay alive. Galio has got to get out of trouble. It looks like he will, even though we're not following him. Yeah, he gets out. Ashe is leading.
Fizz does back. I think this is a mistake. They pick up the kill on Hecarim, and Fizz backs with almost full health. I don't know how they are, and it looks like Rise just gets downright CC'd under tower, but he does so much damage.
Yeah, and it's gonna result. Ashe is ulted, but she goes down immediately as soon as the ult wears off. I don't
even know what is happening in this game.
I don't know why Galio stayed in the Nexus so long. Was he waiting to buy boots so that he could run back faster?
No, but then again, we also see the engage on Rise, and he just kills like 3 people while they're waiting, or brings them close to death while he's just getting ripped on under tower. I mean, it just seems like very poor decisions the whole way around.
Yeah, this game is very back and forth. It looks like they're going to pick up a turret here. Fizz is really good at clearing with his Playful Trickster, but it's got a pretty high cooldown. And no, I'm not sure what's happening. I think that they needed to split up and push both lanes, because Fizz...
Looks like Fizz is going to kill Caitlyn here, and that's going to be pretty big, especially if he gets away.
Galio should not be going under there. Yep, there.
It just seems like both teams are suffering from a lack of discipline. Hecarim's going to pick up the kill on Fizz, because Fizz just decided to farm instead of going back and healing.
Yeah, and he could get out because even though these two guys have a lot of CC, they don't do a ton of damage. A lot of that damage came from the minions. Like I said, though, I think that while these two were here top against Fizz, Galio should have came bot and pushed because Fizz was the only person alive. There's an ult from Ashe to capture Galio. He tries to get his own ult off, but it's not going to work. And Hecarim is just out of position again. He was trying to split push, but he just couldn't get enough done because everybody was too busy being dead.
Well, also that and his kill on Fizz in the mid kind of brought him down low. But after all of these mistakes we see from both teams, just kind of you know, wreaking havoc across the whole entire map, they're pretty much even. There's only 300 gold separating the two, and Baron, I believe, has worn off of all the important people at this point.
I mean, Soraka's got it, so don't count him out yet. But yeah, I agree.
And she still has it for a significant period of time.
Everybody
so
else
I guess
has
that
died with
everybody
Baron,
else has died.
That gold, though, from Baron put Digital Heretics in a position where they are now dead even. The gold is dead even at almost 40 minutes in the game. I mean, while the kills are pretty close also, it's just a really tight game right now. Hecarim, though, like you said, he's been out of position a lot. And for someone who was 3-1-2 at the beginning of this game, he's died 8 times. And that is a huge, huge pool of gold for both Ashe and Fizz. And Kayle has 8 kills also. She's getting
We
pretty
also
scary.
see a very interesting build coming out from this Ashe, going double Phantom Dancer. She already has a Bloodthirster and Infinity Edge made, so she's going to be dealing a ton of damage. But we'll see whether or not she should have gone some other item, or whether or not that dual Phantom Dancer is the way to go.
She's going to crit like 150% of the time, I believe. 25, 30, and another 30, so not quite 100%, but basically almost every attack is going to be a crit. It's not a horrible build. It is, as an older meta, one I like. But yeah, a lot of players are going double and triple Bloodthirsters now. The Koreans are nuts, and who knows?
But one thing you do see, Digital Heretics is not just, you know, grappling back and forth with this blue team here, with Arab Legion. They are turning these into turrets. They're turning them into objectives, and that's one thing that Arab Legion has not been able to do this game.
You know, and let's see, it was Jedi Thor says
we see that Nautilus misses his Q, and then he ults Soraka, and I think that's going to end up really hurting him in this fight and potentially costing him the game here.
Yeah, the trades are pretty even right now. It's going to depend if Hecarim can stay alive here.
This Ashe just out-sustained Hecarim.
Kate is going to pick up both of these, though, and that was huge. And Kate is left alone in the enemy base. All she has to do is push the creep, well, if she can, and not die to the super minion. So we have like 40 seconds of nothing but some Kate on nothing action. And yeah, it's going to be scary.
Kate is enjoying her time alone here. She's just wandering around. She probably picks
minions.
up a Starbucks or whatever on her way back home and calls it a good day. She might even pick up bottom turret here.
I was going to say, Jedi Thor said, am I the only one who thinks Kate should have a Blade of the Ruined King? Incendiary Spade says yes, and Jedi Thor said, I guess that's why I'm Bronze 6. It's actually Cardboard League, but my point of that is it's not bad to like a lot of players think that Blade of the Ruined King is really good. It is a good item, but if we look at the team composition from the Arab Legion, we just don't have a lot of champs that have a lot of health. Blade of the Ruined King is great damage, great attack speed, and great lifesteal, but while it's like the jack of all trades, it's not the best of any of those. It really is great against like a really heavily tanked team. Like if we look at Digital Heretics, a Blade of the Ruined King would probably be a good choice against them because of Hecarim, because of Galio, because of Rise. I mean, there's just a lot of.
In addition to that, a lot of times Blade of the Ruined King rises out of necessity because of the money in the early game. It does not require a BF sword. You can have your Cutlass. It kind of gives you an intermediate item that you can use. I would also like to point out that the reason I brought up the 2 Phantom Dancers earlier is because she did not opt to go for the Last Whisperer, which, you know, ignores at 40% of the armor. And that is going to be big later in the game as these tanks get more built. Caitlyn is going to be doing more actual damage as opposed to Ashe just dealing the crits or dealing damage faster. So we'll see if she polishes it off here with the Last Whisper, or she finishes with a Guardian Angel.
Yeah, Kate does pick up the Blade of the Rune King. I don't think I like that more than the Bloodthirster. It does give her the ability to steal some health from a champ. It'll be good against Nautilus, but really only Nautilus and Taric have a ton of health right now, and Taric's really not priority. So I'm not sure I agree with the choice. If we look at the health bar from Purple, though, I mean, that is a team you want Blade of the Rune King against. And I just don't know. I think that before its nerf, Blade of the Rune King was the must-build item. But now that it's been nerfed so hard, it's still good.
It's still really good.
Yeah, it's still not the go-to item. And
it gives you a decent chunk of attack damage. It is cheaper. I mean, it is almost a full. It's almost 1,400 gold cheaper than the Infinity Edge. So I mean, it's almost a full BF sword cheaper. So. That is to be taken into account. Purple team's going to pick up a quick Baron here.
Yeah, that's not even exciting. I mean, Arab Legion is just stuck in their base. This is the end of the end coming up here. I know that he likes to say the beginning of the end, but sometimes you have to start at the end to get to the end.
Sometimes you have to start at the end to get to the beginning.
That doesn't even make any sense.
But as we see, but it also to continue on our talk, because nothing else is really happening here. The Blade of the Rune King, it also gives you 40% attack speed, so it is kind of a good intermediary item if you don't want to go for that quick Phantom Dancer, and it gives you 15% lifesteal. So it does a lot of things well, and we'll see how we'll see if Blue is able to come bring back a miracle here. I don't think I've ever seen anyone come back from this far down though.
No, I don't think it's going to happen. They're going to need an ace and to push right up the gut. And it does not look like it's going to happen.
Not attacking here. It's really bad.
Galio just caught everybody in his Idol of Durand, and Ryze is blinking, but he's not going to go down here. Hecarim forces Ashe back to the Nexus, but really the only kill that they're going to pick up is Ryze, maybe. Nope, there's the stun on to Fizz, and he just melts. And that's the game.
That will be the game. The Super Minions could have done it alone. We just did not see the correct decisions come out of Arab Legion here, and unfortunately they were not able to turn their successes into objectives. That's one thing a lot of newer players don't necessarily know how to do, is turn their successes into objectives, and we saw Digital Heretics do that to perfection in this game, and Arab Legion did not. I do like my picture for Liquid Slick there. There we go.
I'm glad.
That's good stuff right there.
We don't have camera up right now. In the middle of packing for not really a vacation, but some away time. So no camera, but sexy Taric instead. Best.
And that is what I look like in person. The only difference is I have blonde hair instead of dark hair. So that is me essentially. So it's pretty good likeness.
Yeah, I would say. My client crashed yet again, so I cannot look at the post-game stats. I hope that Riot starts to fix these things. Any words of wisdom from your grandpa for that game? I mean, he probably would just say,
my grandfather probably would have went to sleep. That's probably all that would have happened.
Yeah.
He would have just passed out because, as I said, it didn't result in any objectives. When they got that Baron stolen by the Hecarim, I think that was really the nail in the coffin. I mean, it was a really clutch play that shifted the burden back onto Blue, whereas before they were obviously trying to take Baron. They actually thought they had positioning on it, so it's just bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was a slugfest. At one point, I thought Digital Heretics couldn't lose. At another point, I thought they couldn't win, and they pulled it out. It was a really entertaining game. Saw a lot of good play. I liked the Ryze pick. It was much better than the LeBlanc from Game 2. I think that is one of the things that won it, is that their mid actually took a champ that scales late game really well. He knew that he could counter Fizz, and he did it decisively. So yeah.
No, it was good. I don't really have much to say about that game because there was just so much frantic action all over the place. Just seemed like Digital Heretics were able to really turn their engagements into something, whereas Arab Legion, they tried to snag Ryze underneath that tower, but he gets pretty broken late game. He just gets so tough. He's got a lot of health, and he scales off of his mana. So, he's got a lot of damage output, and he ended up killing almost 2 to 3 people under that tower by himself, even though he was stunned. Started off with a Taric stun.
Yeah, I think once they realized they needed to calm down and group up, and things just started to click together for him. Ryze stopped going in and dying instantly, and like your grandpa says, if Ryze dies right away, you lose the team fight.
Yeah, so, maybe. I'm not sure. My grandfather was silent on the issue.
Well, it was implied. I think the look on his face when that happened.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, basically, just to sum it up, I just think that Digital Heretics had a little bit more discipline, even though in the middle of the game, their Hecarim was pretty much dying for no reason at that point. He was just so confident. He was running through their base, taking shots he didn't need to. But in the end, they still had more discipline to really focus on objectives.
Yeah, in both games we watched, we saw who was their jungle? I don't even remember who it was now.
Nautilus.
No, the Hecarim.
Oh, okay, Hecarim? I don't know.
I cannot remember who played Hecarim, but he also played Lee Sin. And we saw in both games he was extremely efficient early game, getting kills, getting assists. But late game, both times, he kind of just straight off. So he just needs to rein himself in. No pun intended. Or was it? Anyways,
hey.
and not die nearly as much. I think he just goes too deep. And
Darkness Dragon here, who was the Galio in the last game, is the best Galio I've ever seen. You've not seen many Galios, but regardless, I think that the Galio ult really was a big game changer later on. I think that he did play a pivotal role, and without the crowd control of that ult, that it really did lead to the victory. So I agree with you. It was very, very good Galio play, and appreciate you popping back in to tout yourself, plug for yourself.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see some. I'm a Giraffe will try to mirror the Galio play, maybe show us a little better Galio play. Who knows? He I don't know if you probably didn't hear this because you were in the game, but he wanted to play Galio top in the game happening on the other stream before your guys's, and they laughed at him. It might have been because his tongue was purple, but they laughed at him all the same.
But regardless, we see the Galio top is a decent pick, or can be a decent pick if his ult is used correctly. You don't see him a whole lot. I think that's why a lot of people are kind of hesitant about that. But to sum it up, thanks for casting. I'm sorry I missed the first 2. I'm packing for a short trip that I have to make. But it was good to be able to cast the third one for you. My first game 3 that I have casted for this tournament, and hopefully we'll see a lot more.
Yeah, that's right. No game left uncasted. We weren't able to hop into even the first match. I just barely caught the end of it, and then we got the second match out, and just so you guys can see what's going on, gauge your opponents or the competition, whatever you want to call them, your fellow Bearcats, so that you can really lay the smack down, because there's a lot of good stuff you can learn. I would definitely take advantage of these VODs, and if you are playing against a team, look at who they play and how they play them, and practice against that champion for the previous week or the week before or leading up to the game. But somebody is hungry.
No, I just have a bag that I was rolling up.
Oh, that's cool.
Not B.
All right.
But
as always,
we can let you go. Thanks again to Mangrease there, Twitch TV/Mangrease. If you guys want to do us a favor and you're still watching, click the follow button on the bottom left-hand side of the screen. It helps the University of Cincy LOL out, and it would help me and Mangrease out, Twitch TV/Mangrease, if you followed him as well.
Yeah, one nice thing it does is it'll if you set it, it'll notify you whenever you have Cincy LOL is streaming. That way, the schedule is kind of wonky right now. It was kind of a strange week, so if you're not sure when people are playing, you can it'll just email you when the stream goes live. So that's always a good thing. And as always, I'd like to thank my co-host for coming in, even though it was only in Game 3. Slick, you can find him at Twitch TV/Slick. That's pretty much all I got. Oh yeah, and your mom SC covered for him a little bit. I know the guy smells through the internet, but we still appreciate it. So yeah.
All right, well, that sounds good to me. And let's thanks to everybody else, Noobs Alone You, for setting this whole thing up. And we'll see you guys next time.
If you want to know what time they're going to be on the VOD, asks Shrevident, you would have to talk to Shryukin, also known as some in layman's terms Ryan Benner. He will let you know. He usually just does the highlight like pretty quickly after the game. He'll snip out mostly just the game, a little pre-commentary, and put them up. There will be no game one though. It doesn't take long, maybe 5-10 minutes. So don't pay him anything. He's a dirty, dirty whore. He's not a prostitute. So on that note, it's been fun, and I have no sign-off quote whatsoever, so that's all I got.
Stay classy. University of Cincinnati, stay classy.
Yep. Good fight and good night.